Matsuno Rina です。吉田拓郎さんの今日までそして明日からを歌います。
拓郎じゃないよ。
So, for everyone watching this video, you might have heard this before, but if you haven't, let me just give you a quick rundown of what's happened in the past few days. So, on the 7th of February, EbiChu member Matsuno Rina, she came down with an illness after going on a trip with her family somewhere, and she had to cancel an event, a concert that they were doing. She couldn't go because she was feeling really bad. So she stayed at home and they were treating her there. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like at 5 a.m. I think, on the 8th, her condition suddenly worsened. Her parents called emergency services and they came to pick her up in an ambulance, but she unfortunately couldn't make it by the time they got to the hospital. Last night, they revealed this information. She's confirmed dead, 18, and later on, EbiChu and Stardust also gave their comments about it. So that's what we're here to talk about. Now, for me personally, Rina was not my favorite member of EbiChu. I did not really pay that much attention to her other than seeing her pictures and commenting on her amazing looks and stuff. But other than that, like, EbiChu for me is the Stardust group I follow probably the least. So I wasn't particularly attached to them as much as I am to the other groups. But at the same time, it's a devastating piece of news, and it's going to be, even for me, it's going to be very difficult to imagine that this Matsuno Rina is no longer with us. It's not graduation, that's completely different. I can accept that Yuzupon is gone from Shachi, at least she's still doing her own thing, but this is quite different. This is monumentally different. She's gone, and she's no longer going to be doing anything. She's just non-existent. But to us, in the Stardust fandom and EbiChu family, we will always hold her dear to us. Her memory will never fade. I'm absolutely shocked by what has happened. I can barely find the words to express what I'm feeling right now. I have dealt with idol deaths before, as far as an idol who died 30 years ago goes, but that happened before I was even born. To think that we had to deal with something like this in the modern era, for modern idols, is absolutely unbelievable. I never thought that we'd have to deal with something like this. It's unthinkable. I don't know what to feel. Rina was never my favorite, but I did highly respect her, and I'm very saddened to see her go. And such a sudden and really unexpected turn of events. She just got sick and then succumbed to it. It's crazy to think that you never really know what the world has in store for you. One day, it just might all vanish. And for that, I say that cherish the time you have. Every idol you follow, even if they're not your favorite, I urge you to please give them all your support, all your love, because you never know when it might just vanish. And that's really all I have to say.
I mean, yeah, I could probably say some similar comments. Like, for me, the three main groups that I listen to, until I start expanding a lot more, but they still remain groups I listen to a lot, were Momoklo, Team Shachihoko, and Shiritsu Ebisu Chuugaku, EbiChu. All three of them have meant a lot to me and have got me through probably some really dark points in my life with their music. And even if Rina wasn't my favourite member, she always had such a presence in the group, and she was really talented, and you could hear her ability when she performed. Her death so young is quite a shock to me because she did so much for me, like all the other members of these groups. She did so much, if I'm being honest. And if it hadn't been for her and the rest of the group, I don't know if I'd honestly be here today. And when someone does so much like that, it hurts to see them go. Especially when you can't ever really thank them. I mean, lots of other fans have done things or said things about her after she's gone to commemorate her life, and there's been some really nice things that I've been able to see from that. There are a lot of people who are just thankful for the smiles she was able to produce and the laughter and joy that she gave, and I would have to say the same. The biggest regret for me would have to be how I wish I just paid more attention while she was alive. As while I loved each and every member, I would definitely say I was guilty of focusing too much on my favourite member and not giving the others as much love. And as this has shown, that you've got to really cherish the time that they're performing and they're doing things and you're enjoying what they do. Because like this event shows, you never know when suddenly things can just end, and without you really expecting it to happen. I think the thing that's I think it's just better to treasure the time that they give, and honestly, I don't know what else there is to say, but that I'm glad for everything that she was able to do, and this is really hard for me to take, and to be honest, it's probably still going to be a while until I properly process everything. But thank you. It's probably the best words and the best summary that I could give for how I'm feeling at this point, even though it doesn't truly say everything that I want. But yeah.
Now, for me, I'm in a different situation than most EbiChu fans because I've never even seen a concert of theirs. So it's kind of a detachment in the sense that I never really got to know them very much. But even so, I've always, I became a member after Kaho and Riko came on. So I've always associated the group with those 8. And even though fans might say that EbiChu will always be 8 and stuff, you gotta realize that it's not anymore, and it's very hard to come to terms with that. There's one member that she didn't just graduate from the group, she's gone forever, and that is extremely difficult to accept. I know a lot of people who are in complete denial of it. They tried super hard to disprove it, find evidence against it, but in the end it turned out to be accurate information, and we don't know very much about it right now. Right now they still haven't figured out what actually killed her, but the point being is that it's it's just a hard thing to take. It just was shoved down our throats so fast out of nowhere, and this very heavy thing shoved down there. It's very heavy, very solemn, very sad piece of information. The worst thing for me is, too, in general for EbiChu, I haven't paid very much attention to them. I mainly focus all my attention on my favorite member, too. And while I would watch their music videos and appreciate them all being there, it was really one-sided for me. The other members were just like there, and I never really got to, trying to attach myself more to the others as much as I did to her. Because of that, I feel kind of guilty as well. That's my regret too. There's really no other way to say that. We're guilty of Oshi, I guess. That's why it's important to really demonstrate that you love the group and not just one member of them. There's a lot of people that probably feel a lot worse than I do right now, but I can tell you too that I'm definitely feeling very depressed right now. I can't pay attention in any of my classes. It's just really difficult to think that this beam of energy and beam of radiance to so many people and a group we follow so closely is just not going to be with us anymore. I really don't know what to think. I haven't processed it really. So it's going to take a while for me too. I don't know what else to say, but honestly, the only thing I can is that we'll never forget her, and we'll keep her in our hearts.
For sure.
She will never fade from our memories. And once we know more information, I'll definitely make an effort to spread that information to get most accurate story out there, and to honor her. Honestly, all we can do is really cherish her memory. That's all.
Yeah, like, now that she's gone, and it hurts to admit that, the thing that has to be done is to not let her be forgotten, and just remember everything that she was able to do. And to be honest, even though she's not going to be there anymore, the thing that she can still do, because even without her being there, she can still touch people with the same energy that she was able to give. And I hope that even with her not being there, her memory is able to help and touch more people, and that more people remember her for what she did. I don't think there's much else to say, but yeah.
Yep, that's our initial thoughts on what's been going on recently.
Yeah, it's just hard, very hard to process. It's very hard to think about. And
thing is, for me, I've never experienced death at all. Like, family member, anything, I've never actually had to deal with that. So I don't know how to deal with this. I mean, it's not like I'm crying over it or anything, because, once again, EbiChu, those members are the least ones I'm attached to for Stardust, so for me, personally, it's more of not much. I mean, I don't know. It just hasn't affected me as much as it has with others, of course, but it's still, I don't know. It's very depressing. I know I feel depressed, and I wish that I could have changed what I failed to do while she was alive. That's how I'm feeling right now. I wish I had done differently to show that I do appreciate her and her being there and her work that she's done and what she's accomplished. I think it's too late for me now, and I really feel bad about that. I can go back and watch stuff from before, but it's really not the same.
Yeah. It's just never going to be the same, but there we go. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this, and rest in peace, Rina. We will never forget you.
Keep on smiling.
Get through this.